Hey, welcome back, ScreenCrush. I'm Ryan Airy, and I am here to recap the events of WandaVision for you. Maybe you didn't see the show, or maybe you just want a refresher before the new Marvel movie. So here is everything that happened in WandaVision. And this is also going to cover the origin story of Monica Rambeau, who is one of the main characters in the movie The Marvels.
Wanda, welcome home.
Now first, a brief bit of background for you. Wanda and Pietro Maximoff are twins from a war-torn country called Sokovia. One night, their home was destroyed by a weapon shell that was made by Tony Stark. Now Stark later, of course, becomes a superhero and an Avenger, but the twins resented him for making a bomb that killed their family, so they signed up to stop Stark and the Avengers by joining Hydra, an evil spy organization. Now Hydra used the Mind Infinity Stone to imbue them with powers. Pietro got super speed, and Wanda gained the ability to shift reality, mess with people's minds, and shoot red energy out of her hands.
He's fast and she's weird.
The twins join up with an AI named Ultron to destroy the Avengers, but then they join the Avengers and they learn that Ultron is actually evil and he wants to destroy all humans. Ultron kills Pietro, and Wanda then falls for a fellow Avenger, the artificial life form called the Vision, who is kept alive by the Mind Stone embedded in his forehead. On a mission, Wanda loses control of her powers, kills a bunch of people, and the Avengers fight each other over a superhuman registration law.
It's an oversimplification of events, but yes.
Afterwards, Wanda goes on the run with Captain America while Vision stays with Tony Stark. But the two of them like to sneak away together and they begin to fall in love.
I think it works. It works.
That's cut short, however, when Thanos, the Mad Titan, attacks Earth, and Wanda is forced to destroy the Mind Stone, killing Vision and saving the day, until Thanos rewinds time and she has to watch Vision die all over again before he uses the Infinity Stones to snap half the universe into dust. 5 years later, the Avengers do some time traveling, undo Thanos' snap, and Wanda returns, but now the Avengers seem permanently disbanded. So that's the background, so now let's talk about WandaVision.
Hey, what's with the headband? Oh, is there a Halloween party like in WandaVision? Let me go get my costume.
No, there's not a—
Okay, I'm ready.
Doug, there's not a costume party.
Oh, okay, then why are you wearing a bandana and drinking that green stuff?
Oh no, Doug, this is a lot more than green stuff. It's my daily dietary supplement called AG1. They're the sponsor of this video. So I've been drinking AG1 for about a year now, and it's become an essential part of my morning routine.
Oh, say more.
Well, this is what we call a foundational nutrition drink. It is the best way to make sure that I get all of the vitamins and minerals that I need throughout the entire day. It has 75 different ingredients, including vitamins, minerals, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. That's why this is the best nutritional drink I've ever used for workout recovery. I recover faster, and the high magnesium cuts down on muscle soreness. If you've ever taken a break from working out for a long time, then you started back, then believe me, this drink is great for you. It also gives me energy, but it's not like a caffeine rush. AG1 contains rhodiola, magnesium, and vitamin B to create sustained energy that lasts throughout the entire day, which means I get more done, I'm not working late, and I just feel better. It's also very easy to use. You have one scoop, the vitamin D3 plus K2 drops, you shake, and that's all you need for the day, every day. Now, because this is so easy, it's become an essential part of my daily routine. No messy blenders, just powder, water, shake, and you're on your way to a healthier day. So if you sign up with our link in the description, you get a free 1-year supply of the immune-supporting D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs with your first purchase. Just click the link in the description to get started on your first purchase of AG1. Now, back to what I was saying. So the show begins with this hokey intro from a 1950s sitcom, reminiscent of Leave It to Beaver or The Dick Van Dyke Show. Now Wanda is in the kitchen using her witch powers to put away dishes when Vision enters.
Wait, he's not dead?
Apparently not. He notices a heart on today's date on the calendar, and they can't figure out why that date is important.
Oh yes, the heart.
Now Vision has to change his face before he leaves the house because the two of them are hiding their abilities from the rest of the town. Then a neighbor named Agnes brings Wanda a gift, and Wanda tells her about her special dinner with the Vision that night. Agnes offers to help Wanda make the evening more romantic. Vision works at a firm where he's using his abilities to get ahead, but he doesn't know exactly what they do there. Then it turns out that the day is special because he and Wanda are having dinner with his boss and his wife. But Wanda still thinks that it's a romantic dinner, leading to a hilarious misunderstanding.
Wanda!
Vision?
Agnes shows up with food for dinner, and Wanda is forced to use her magic to get dinner ready. It's hilarious stuff. But then, when the Hearts press Wanda on where they're from, Wanda becomes uncomfortable and Mr. Hart starts to choke. And then we go from a 3-camera sitcom setup to a single camera slow push-in as his wife starts to beg.
Stop it. Stop it.
After Vision uses his powers to save his boss, we're back to a normal sitcom. Then Wanda conjures wedding rings for them, and as the credits roll, we see somebody watching an old tube television and taking notes. Episode 2 is styled more like a single-camera sitcom like The Andy Griffith Show, and it begins with the two of them hearing a strange noise outside that eventually makes Wanda merge their beds together. Now, the opening credits are styled after a mid-60s sitcom like Bewitched, and just like in that show, Wanda and Vision try to keep their powers secret to appear normal to the people of Westview. The two of them are practicing a magic act to perform at a children's fundraiser. And you see, Wanda is having trouble blending in with the other women on her street, which is why she tells Vision,
This is our home now. I want us to fit in.
And then Vision goes off to a neighborhood watch meeting where he eats chewing gum that messes up his mechanical innards, so he acts loopy for the rest of the episode. Meanwhile, Wanda hears a strange noise outside and then finds a toy helicopter that is for some reason in color, sending a message to her that this is really not from this world. At the neighborhood meeting, Wanda meets Geraldine, who is also new to the neighborhood. Meanwhile, Agnes seems a bit out of place and sassy.
How is anybody doing this sober?
Then local Queen Bee Dottie tells Wanda basically that she doesn't trust her, and then Wanda hears these sounds on the radio.
Who's doing this to you, Wanda? Wanda.
And just then, Dottie's snaps out of something and she's confused. Then she cuts her hand and the blood is in color, and then everybody just shakes it off because it's time for the talent show. Vision is still acting loopy, and Wanda is trying to figure out what the hell is actually going on, but then she uses her actual magic to save the day. Afterwards, they hear a strange noise out on the street, and then Wanda sees a beekeeper come from the sewer.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah!
And she says,
No.
and then rewinds time. Now, she and Vision kiss, and she is suddenly pregnant as the world around them is colorized. Episode 3 is set up like a 70s sitcom like The Brady Bunch, and notice the intro is also made up of hexagons. It's going to be important later. Wanda and Vision are amazed at her sudden pregnancy and that she is suddenly several months along. Meanwhile, their neighbor Herb is also acting strange. They decorate the nursery and practice changing diapers, and then suddenly Wanda's contractions cause the whole house to glitch out. Now Vision is starting to notice something is really off, and just when he starts to question Wanda, this happens.
Yes, I know what you mean.
And then Wanda full on goes into labor. But her water breaking causes the entire house to flood and the entire neighborhood starts to glitch out. So Geraldine comes over and Wanda's powers spin out of control, creating clothes and a literal stork that walks around. And then Geraldine discovers the pregnancy and actually delivers Wanda's first baby while Vision shows up to deliver the second.
Twins?
Twins. And then Wanda suddenly remembers her brother and starts to sing the babies a Sokovian lullaby. And this kind of wakes Geraldine out of a trance.
He was killed by Ultron.
Wanda notices her strange pendant and tells her to leave. Vision goes outside and once again notices odd behavior, while Agnes and Herb seem to be hiding something about Geraldine. And then when Vision returns inside, Geraldine is suddenly gone. And then the aspect ratio slowly shifts to 16:9 as Geraldine is thrown through a barrier outside of a town called Westview, no longer in a sitcom reality. She's surrounded by government helicopters and some kind of base camp.
What is even happening here?
Well, next comes episode 4, the episode which explains it all. The episode begins moments after the blip when the people that Thanos snapped away were suddenly returned by Hulk's snap. And then we meet Monica Rambeau. Now, MCU fans will remember her as the little girl who designed Carol's costume in the movie Captain Marvel. Monica wakes up in the chaos of the blip, learned that it's been 5 years, and in that time her mother Maria has passed away from cancer. Now, Maria was Carol's best friend, and after the events of Captain Marvel, she helped to co-found a space defense agency called SWORD, and Monica was a SWORD agent. And now, Monica returns to SWORD headquarters and meets her mother's replacement, director Tyler Hayward, who catches her up on the changes that have taken place at SWORD. Hayward sends Monica to New Jersey to help the FBI on a missing persons case, and she's been sent to operate a SWORD surveillance drone because she's been temporarily grounded from spaceflight. And just outside of Westview, New Jersey, she meets Jimmy Woo, the FBI agent who pursued Scott Lang and Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I'll be seeing you again.
Where?
Huh?
Where will you be seeing me again?
They find out that the local police have been enchanted to believe that there is no such place as Westview, New Jersey. And they can also sense somehow that no one is supposed to enter Westview.
Why haven't you gone inside to investigate?
Because it doesn't want me to. You can feel it too, can't you? Nobody's supposed to go in.
So Monica sends the drone in, but it disappears. And then Monica is pulled into this energy field, and then she disappears. So now SWORD is fully in charge of this operation, and they recruit Darcy Lewis, the scientist who worked with Jane Foster in Thor 1 and 2. Darcy immediately detects cosmic background radiation, works out that these are actually TV signals, and then they watch the Wanda and Vision and the episode 1 sitcom. So it was actually Darcy who was keeping notes. So Darcy and Jimmy start to identify the people in town, but one person doesn't seem to have a match, and that's Agnes. Darcy and Jimmy try to reach Wanda through the radio, causing the scene to blink out and delete Dottie's dialogue where she asks Wanda to stop controlling her. Meanwhile, Sword agents send in a guy in a hazmat suit, the same guy that Wanda saw as a beekeeper.
Yeah, what happens to him?
We never find out.
Ooh, creepy.
And then the show edited the scene where Wanda talks to Geraldine, and then we cut back to the TV reality as Wanda confronts Monica. And then she expels her out of the town.
Get out of my house!
Now Wanda quickly repairs the damage to her home, and after Vision asks what happened to Geraldine, Wanda says,
Oh, she left, honey. She had to rush home.
What?
Ah, no.
Holy God, what are you showing me? His head. Come on!
so Vision says they can leave the town if they want, but Wanda says,
No, we can't.
so now one thing is very clear. This is not a supervillain behind this.
It's Wanda. It's all Wanda.
So now we're in the 1980s, inspired by shows like Growing Pains and Family Ties, as Wanda and Vision are struggling to get their babies to stop crying. And then Agnes shows up to help, but then suddenly breaks character and asks Wanda for instructions.
Should we just take it from the top?
And then suddenly their sons are now toddlers. And then the new TV theme is modeled after the show Family Ties, and there's one key line in here. Now back at Sword HQ, Hayward debriefs Monica, and she tells him that the feeling of grief was controlling her while she was in the Hex, and she felt Wanda in her mind. So now Sword knows that Wanda is the person controlling Westview. Then Hayward takes a way more antagonistic view of Wanda and shows footage of her stealing Vision's body. Hayward does not like people with superpowers, and this is going to keep cropping up throughout the season.
She's holding thousands of people hostage.
And it could have been thousands more if she hadn't put up her own quarantine.
Right.
Meanwhile, in Westview, the boys are trying to hide a stray dog, while Vision is suspicious that Agnes always seems to appear with exactly what they need. Wanda is tired of hiding her abilities, and Vision starts to really grow suspicious.
What aren't you telling me?
And then, after Vision says they can't have a dog until the boys are 10, the boys suddenly grow themselves into 10-year-olds. Back outside, Monica and the others are working out a way that she can re-enter the Hex. And I just want to flag here that in this scene, Monica seems to bristle at the mention of Captain Marvel.
Well, I'd argue that Captain Marvel came close.
Her powers came from an Infinity Stone too, right?
We are not talking about her, we are talking about Wanda.
And then Monica figures out that Wanda is actually rearranging molecules inside the Hex and not causing everybody to hallucinate. Meanwhile, inside the Hex, Vision briefly breaks Wanda's spell over his coworker.
You have to stop her.
Stop who?
She's in my head. None of it is my own.
So now Vision has become very, very suspicious of Wanda. And then, during a sweet moment with the boys, Wanda tells them about her brother. And then Sword sends in an old Stark drone from the 1980s in order to communicate with Wanda.
Why'd they send in one from the 80s?
Because it's from the same decade as the sitcom, so Wanda wouldn't instinctively rearrange its atoms. Wanda then emerges from the Hex in her superhero clothes, throwing the drone back at them, which is now covered in her red energy.
Stay out of my home. You don't bother me. I won't bother you.
Oh, I should also mention that Hayward weaponized the drone and tried to kill Wanda with it. So after the commercial break, they search for Sparky, and then Agnes is holding his little dead body.
Wait, the puppy dies? Wanda killed a puppy?
Maybe, I mean, we just don't know yet. So this is all very sad, but it becomes a moment where Wanda teaches the boys how they should cope with death.
We can't reverse death, no matter how sad it makes us.
Afterwards, Vision confronts Wanda about how she is changing reality. And then she tries to roll credits over their fight, and Vision notes,
It was subconscious at first, and that you only recently became aware of it.
and then they have a massive fight.
Stop lying to me!
And then suddenly, at the perfect time, the doorbell rings. And guess who's at the door? It's a guy claiming to be Wanda's dead brother.
She recast Pietro?
Now we're in a 90s 2000s era single camera sitcom like Malcolm in the Middle. The boys and their uncle bond while Wanda and Vision unveil their comic book accurate Halloween costumes. Now Vision though says he's going to leave to go be on Neighborhood Watch, and Wanda is kind of forced to let him go in order to prove that she's not actually trying to control him or the town.
Mom and Dad have been not fighting, just like different.
Pietro and Wanda take the kids trick or treating, where Wanda tries to work out why her brother looks different and where he came from. And then he claims that Wanda brought him back from the dead. And then they discover that Tommy, like his uncle, is a speedster.
You got super speed!
Outside, Hayward plans to neutralize Wanda because he doesn't trust people with powers. So he dismisses Monica, and then she, Darcy, and Jimmy sneak off to hack into Hayward's system, where they discover that he has been able to track Vision this entire time. So Vision is wandering around the hex and notices people kind of looping and silently sobbing. And then the further Vision goes from the middle of town, the more people are just sort of frozen in place, almost like a computer processor that is overloaded. So then he flies above town and spots Agnes frozen in her car. Then he frees her mind and she says,
"You're one of the Avengers. You're Vision. Are you here to help us?"
And remember, Vision has no memory of any of this. He cannot remember anything from before Westview.
I can't remember my life before Westview. I don't know who I am.
And then she adds,
"Am I dead?"
Why would you think that?
Because you are.
Because I'm what?
Dead.
So as Vision resolves to leave the hex, Monica learns that her going in and out of the hex has changed her cells on a molecular level, and that she probably should not re-enter. But Monica believes she can help Wanda, so she wants to enter Westview one more time. And then Pietro tries to milk Wanda for information.
How'd you even do all this?
Just as Vision leaves through the barrier of the hex and starts to disintegrate. Billy senses this with his own magic powers. And then after Pietro is kind of mean to Wanda about her husband, she blasts him away. And then Wanda and Billy work to expand the hex so it can re-envelop Vision and the entire Sword base. Now Darcy and the other agents are turned into members of a circus troupe, but Hayward barely gets away.
The slippery son of a bitch got away.
Now we are in a 2010s era mockumentary sitcom. Wanda's depressed because Vision is gone and her brother was not real. So now Wanda is involuntarily changing the town to shift through different eras, and she's slowly having a breakdown.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
So Agnes offers to babysit the boys while Wanda continues to glitch out. And then finally the interviewer just asks her,
"Do you think maybe this is what you deserve?"
What?
Meanwhile, Vision wakes up at the circus while Darcy is now transformed into an escape artist until he frees her mind. Darcy fills him in on his past.
Wanda killed me?
Yes, but it's not that simple.
Now Wanda is involuntarily placing roadblocks in front of Vision. Eventually he gets tired of this and flies away because he doesn't want to be stuck in traffic.
I'm not amused.
Meanwhile, outside the hex, Sword sets up a new HQ while Jimmy and Monica work out that Hayward was actually trying to bring the Vision back online and use him as a weapon.
He didn't want to be anybody's weapon.
Then they arrive at their own secret base camp where they find a heavily armored space rover that should be able to pass through the hex. It doesn't work, so Monica goes through on her own, phasing through different eras, and she finally enters, now fully transformed. So now she can see different spectrums of light and is immune to the effects of the hex. Monica storms into Wanda's home trying to warn her about Hayward.
Don't let him make you the villain.
Now, like Wanda, Monica has suffered the loss of her mother, and she tries to relate to her on the level of another grieving woman. Meanwhile, though, Agnes is babysitting the boys, and Billy realizes that he cannot read her mind. So then, Agnes goes outside to split up Wanda and Monica. Inside Agnes's house, Wanda realizes that she can't hear her sons. Wanda wanders downstairs and finds a hidden chamber with mystical artifacts, including an ominous glowing red book. And then Agnes shows up to properly introduce herself.
The name's Agatha Harkness.
And then we get a banger of a musical number.
It's been Agatha all along.
We learned that Agatha caused trouble for Wanda in every episode, sabotaging their magic act, enchanting Herb to make Vision suspect Geraldine, and also mind-controlling some guy into pretending to be Wanda's fake brother. But worst of all...
And I killed Sparky, too.
She killed the puppy?
Yeah, dude, she killed the pretend dog that Wanda created. So we open episode 8 with the Marvel version of the Salem witch trials. Agatha is about to be burned at the stake by her fellow witches because she used the forbidden power of a super evil book called the Darkhold.
I know it's the Book of the Damned, and that it corrupts everything and everyone that it touches.
The witches try to punish Agatha, but instead, Agatha absorbs all their power, killing them all, including her own mother. So, this is what Agatha has been doing for hundreds of years, absorbing the power of other witches to make herself stronger. So now, Wanda is paralyzed by Agatha's magic because...
In a given space, only the witch that casts the runes can use her magic.
Agatha was drawn to Westview by Wanda's magic, and now she's trying to figure out how Wanda can use such powerful magic without ever even studying.
What's your secret, sister?
So she's the Salieri to Wanda's Mozart.
That's very good. Yes, correct. High five. So Agatha enters Wanda's mind to help her confront the truth of what is actually happening on this show. And Wanda agrees to let her do this because Agatha is holding her kids hostage. Then we go into Wanda's childhood home in war-torn Sokovia, where we see that her favorite thing as a kid was watching old American sitcoms like The Dick Van Dyke Show and Bewitched.
Oh, and that's why she created a sitcom fantasy.
Exactly, so this was Wanda's last happy night, the night that her parents were killed. And then we see that infamous Stark shell, but now we actually see the truth, that it was actually Wanda who prevented this shell from exploding by using magic powers that had remained dormant for years. And then we flash back to Wanda's time at Hydra when they exposed her to the Mind Stone. She sees a vision of the stone breaking free from the scepter, and then sees another vision of a woman enveloped in yellow flame, and afterwards she gains her power. And then we flash to Avengers compound right after the events of Age of Ultron, where she and Vision are watching Malcolm in the Middle together. Now this is one of the very first conversations they've actually had together, and Wanda is just filled with grief. And then Vision lays down this masterclass of a line.
But what is grief? If not love, persevering.
This is actually the moment when Wanda begins to fall in love with Vision. And then Agatha forces Wanda to remember the day she went to SWORD headquarters to see Vision's body. Now Hayward shows her Vision's body, which they are dismantling. He tells her that he's trying to strip Vision for his vibranium parts. She gets angry and tries to read Vision's mind.
I can't feel you.
Which is just a lovely callback to this.
I just feel you.
So then she leaves. So it turns out that Hayward was actually lying about her taking the Vision.
What? I mean, what is even going on here?
I know, right? So then Wanda drives into the rundown town of Westview, New Jersey, and we see the people that she's mind controlling in the sitcom fantasy. Finally, she arrives at a plot of land that Vision bought for them, a place to build their dream house. Wanda kneels inside and in a burst of grief spreads her magic outwards and remakes the entire town into the 1950s setting from episode 1. And when she does this, she also recreates the Vision. But then Wanda finds her and Agatha on a sitcom stage. Wanda runs out from the house and sees Agatha in her true form holding the boys hostage. And then Agatha explains that this is chaos magic and that she is actually
The Scarlet Witch.
And then there is a mid-credit scene where we see that Hayward has actually reassembled the Vision, and he used Wanda's residual energy from the drone to repower him. But this new Vision only obeys the orders of SWORD. Which brings us to the finale, episode 9. Wanda and Agatha fight as Agatha prepares to drain Wanda's power. And then Mayonnaise Vision shows up to attack Wanda. Then Red Vision shows up and the team up is on.
This is our home.
Then let's fight for it.
But remember, Monica is still there, trapped in a house with faux Pietro, who is actually a guy named Ralph Boner.
Boner.
Monica frees him from his mind control by removing a necklace, and meanwhile the boys sense Wanda's problems. Now outside the Hex, Jimmy Woo is confronting Hayward, who is trying to cover up the fact that he illegally rebuilt the Vision's body. So he handcuffs Jimmy, but Jimmy escapes using a little bit of close-up magic, and then he calls his friends at the FBI.
It's been a while.
Agatha tells Wanda that she's actually this mythical entity called the Scarlet Witch, the most powerful magic user on the planet, and
It's your destiny to destroy the world.
Agatha starts to free everybody's minds.
We feel your pain. Your grief is poisoning us.
No, stop.
Please, let us go.
Wanda opens up a rift in the Hex so people can leave, but then Hayward and SWORD rush inside while the Visions are fighting each other. And then Wanda sees that as the Hex weakens, her family starts to evaporate. And then the family is surrounded by SWORD, White Vision, and Agatha. The Visions go off to fight in a library where the two of them have a conversation about how both of them, in a way, are lesser parts of a greater whole. How neither of them are the true Vision, but they're both the true Vision at once.
I request elaboration.
White Vision is in Vision's body, while Westview Vision is a part of the Mind Stone that lived within Wanda. So Red Vision shares memories with White Vision.
I am Vision.
And then he flies away to appear in some kind of later sequel.
Maybe. Maybe not.
The boys take on SWORD, and when Hayward tries to shoot them, they are saved by Monica, who now has these superpowers, and then Darcy captures Hayward.
Have fun in prison!
Agatha offers Wanda a deal. If Wanda gives up her powers, she says that she will fix the spell and let her stay in Westview with her kids forever. So Wanda pretends to accept the offer, but actually defeats Agatha by casting runes around Westview so Agatha can no longer use her powers. Wanda then takes her true form as the Scarlet Witch and traps Agatha within her own mental sitcom fantasy.
Even to a guy like me, that's cold.
So now Wanda accepts that she has to let go of her grief. She and Vision say goodnight to the boys as Wanda slowly withdraws the Hex, giving Vision one last kiss.
So long, darling.
Now her husband and kids are gone, and Wanda has to move on with her grief. She walks through Westview, past the glares of the people she imprisoned, and Monica tries to make her feel better.
They'll never know what you sacrificed for them.
And then Wanda flies away, but in the aftermath, Monica Rambeau is greeted by a Skrull agent working for S.W.O.R.D., who tells her that Nick Fury has a mission for her. But then, after the credits roll, we see Wanda in a remote cabin having some tea, while her astral self, that's her spirit self, is studying the super evil book, The Darkhold, and her children are calling out to her. And that's WandaVision, everybody, one of my favorite Marvel shows ever made. If there's anything I left out or if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below or at me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. Please subscribe. Smash that bell for alerts. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.